Heyo everyone, it is Loki Monster here, and we are testing out actually. AE wants us to test out their new starting area, so let's check it out with Twilly here on the bridge, and you'll see at the very top help us try out the new introductory area. So you can go to the Battleon Foothills, and then afterwards you can fill out this survey. You cannot fill it out before you play through. So when I first got here, it was quite beautiful. This is the first time I have ever seen grass on mobile. That is quite unique. It was quite laggy, but I am running on high and with my camera. So I was just going to head down the hill, follow my arrow, and then I thought I'd check out where I came from. Well, this is Death's lair right here. So this is where we start off in Death's lair, and this is where we would have met Vane, and he would have beat us up. So what happens if we go into Death's lair? Well, we go into Death's lair. So, and we can still talk to Death here, and we can go through the meeting of Vane. So what is going to happen to this little piece here where you meet Vane? So this meeting could very well still happen, and we could still have the confrontation where we attempt to fight Vane in vain, and inevitably we get to this point here where Vane's just had enough of this us coming back to life that he's just going to toss us away. But now the game starts out right at the entrance to Death's Lair, and we simply walk down the hill. I would hate to see that iconic throw go, so I suggest adding a boomerang maneuver around the moon, coming back and crashing like a meteor right in front of the Death's Lair. So then we can walk down the hill just to keep that throw. So when we walk down the hill, we meet Walker, Texas, and we also have Peter Hill, the Guardian here, Guardian Peter Hill, the king of the hill. And we also have the class trainers down here, Throck and that. And I was trying to follow my arrow, and it's telling me to travel to ? And then it dawned on me that I hadn't actually accepted the quest to start this area in Saga. And that I was actually just following the arrow for my last Nolgath quest that I handed in. So, actually starting out where we're supposed to, talking to Walker, Texas, we ask him if he's seen Vane. He says there's no villains around, that it's very peaceful, and that the Guardians have nothing to do, and sign-ups are low, which is very strange advertising for Guardians. At this point, a new player won't even know that a Guardian is a purchasable class, but it is an early introduction to Guardians. So he sends us on our first quest to kill some Sneevils. So we do that, and then we return to him, and we've got all these potions these Sneevils stole from them. So then they want us to deliver. So you get your very, very first fetch quest, where you have to go and take something to somebody else. Compared to the old beginning, this is much more laid back. So our next trip is to the class trainers here, and the first person we're going to talk to is Throck here, and he's going to launch into a cutscene, and he's going to tell us all about classes, how to switch between classes, and to test out each of these classes. And his is warrior, and he'll even tell you a little bit more information about that class. And this is really good introduction. I think I was 2 days in before I realized I could switch classes. But when I started, you were taught that by Prim on the Battleon Bridge. So we're going to kill some Frogzards here, and as you can see, there is a big Frogzard down there. I'll get back to him in a second. So we're just going to turn in that quest, and that will earn us 10 tokens. Now, This is the Emerald set, and it drops from the Super Zard here. And the Super Zard is not hard at all for level 45. Just on auto attack, it will go down in a few seconds. But with the level 7 I was playing with here, I got to see firsthand just how tough these monsters are for somebody who is actually at this level doing this as a new player. Those monsters are no walk in the park for them. So, with our introduction to Warrior done, we talked to Matera, who is the rogue class trainer, and she unfortunately timed out, so we never got to see her cutscene. So, she wanted us to go and get something from a Carnivera here, defeat a Carnivera. So, we do that, and we just come back and hand that in, and that we get a Guardian Sworn Cape and more of the tokens. Now, the tokens we can use later. I can show you that in a little bit. And then finally, we have a mage class trainer. So we're going to turn in talking to her. And she sends us for the ogre here. And once we have the ogre, and he drops ogre berries, which is like a boost. So for this quest, you have to choose your reward, and you choose between a sword, a dagger, or a staff, basically between the classes. So I picked the mage staff. So she tells us a little bit more about mages. There's also something called travel forms that everyone can do, not just mages. So we have our first introduction to the travel forms. So you're going to have to go out and defeat some wolves, and you're going to also have to, which will power up this crystal. And over by the wolves, you'll also find a guardian wolf. And this guardian wolf also drops a set as well. I'll get back to that. So we're just going to click on the crystal and we turn into a wolf travel form. So when we head back to talk to her and just turn that in, we will get 10 of these temporary wolf travel forms. So wolf crystal essence. And she's going to send you to Gideon, who is the blacksmith of the area, for some armor. And here you can get the rest of the Garden Swarm armor. But first, you're going to have to help him stock up on some materials in order to be able to supply some armor. And with this, you'll get 40 of the Battleon Foothills tokens. Now, so far, the Foothill supply shop is locked. You unlock it by completing the quest for the materials. Now, one of the materials is the wolves. Now, you don't have to kill the Guardian Wolf, but it does drop the robe version and the tunic version of the Azure set as well. So once you've completed the requirements for that, which were some frog zards, wolf pelts, and a Carnivera, our next quest is to get the Guardian Sworn leather armor. From that, we just need to go to the Foothills shop and simply buy the armor. Now, we earned the tokens for this during that quest. Keeping in mind that you earned the cape, you had to buy the armor, and you earned the gloves, you should be able to get the rest of the pieces of this set, but you would have to grind a little bit extra for those weapons. So if you pick the staff and you want the sword still, you can still get the sword. So Gideon says you won't really need your armor, nothing ever happens. Then sirens start going off and the valley's under attack. So you're going to have to go and find Guardian Peter Hill. So you just need to follow your quest arrow to where Guardian Peter Hill is. And you'll find this little area up here and you see Vane, and you trigger a cutscene between the Guardian and Vane is trying to get inside this Guardian dungeon tower that is behind him, but no one but a Guardian can get through except for Vane now has Death's key. And all of a sudden, Azalea, daughter of Death, speaks up. Now, this is new, tying her in here this way. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. So once you've finished that cutscene, you just want to talk to Peter Hill and turn that in here. Now, it's going to tell you to go straight to the city of Battleon, and then when you do, you're basically going to leave this area and finish the quest. So the Guardian Tower is sitting here, and there is a portal gem there as well. So I went up and checked, and you do not allowed access. Well, I am a Guardian, so is this not complete yet? Is this going to be part of the new storyline? Be interesting to find out what that's about. So I could have traveled directly to Battleon right here from the portal, but I did run through the end, and by doing that I actually missed checking out a few things. So when you do come back, you can just turn that in, then help us try out the new introductory area. So when you click on that, now you'll be able to click on what did you think and fill out the survey. So when you click on that, it's going to send you to another website. So what about the original Death Watch Keep starting area? Well, you can reach that by going to main story, and then you'll find it right at the top there, Death's Lair, intro, and then Dragon's Watch Keep. But now you get dropped off at the point right there and can approach Sir Alistair right here, and I assume do all the quest lines like it originally was. So how does this get fit in later on? Well, we'll have to see, but this area will not be removed, likely because this mimic is needed for the Five Nights of Fright's Golden Buns quest. Now, there were areas of the foothills that you just had to find by exploring, like this chest here, which you could go and unlock it here, and just by clicking on it, it says it feels like a barrier has been dispelled. Well, originally, and I thought this too, that it had something to do with this waterfall. And it's not this waterfall here, it's up a little further. It's this waterfall here. I thought that there was actually a barrier in here stopping people from going in there originally. And I played with the box before I found the waterfall later on, so I didn't know if they were connected. But there is the old man, mysterious old man down here, and he has a golden dagger. And you can buy this from him for 200 gold, and it is a very nice looking dagger. And we also have the big bones, and none of the quests send you to farm the skeletons, but this is where the violet set comes in, and it comes with both the robe version here with the short boots and the tunic version here with the long boots. And check out that view, the dragon on top of the Death's Lair up there, and the big bones is right up there. So the bosses at these levels will be very, very tough for the beginners coming through this area, and they will have to work together. We also had a bug with the rogue versions where it was just a little too X-rated to post. But they quickly corrected that. But before they did, I was a glowing bug for a while. The regular tunic, as you can see, it shows just fine, but the robe, it decided to be flesh colored. And they did have a shutdown. What I was going to show you, there is a mountain pass which is still locked off, as well as a cliff pass over by Walker, Texas Ranger. I was also stuck as a blue glow once I tried on one of the outfits, but after the reset, it was all fine again. So what do I think of this new area? Well, it is a beautiful map. The animations on it are beautiful. The wind blowing through the leaves of the trees and the grass. Actually seeing grass on mobile. And just this gorgeous, huge skeleton. But it was a rather boring playthrough. also highly informative, which was needed. There was a big lack in explaining classes and being able to switch. I can't see how the iconic Vayne throwing you scene can stay in. Deathwatch was a little more exciting, like boom in your face. This is more like welcome to Battleon, take your time. So definitely some positives and definitely a little bit of negative as well. Thanks for joining me, and if you like my videos, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Bye bye. And don't forget, this week is a gold boost week, so you can earn some extra gold all week long.